Hi guys, it's Daps here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm super excited to have you join me in this tutorial. In this one, I want to show you how you can use a fantastic website called SproutUI and also a favorite tool I've been using for a while called UiChemy to get a perfect Figma to WordPress Elementor conversion. I have shared a lot of tutorials on this channel about converting Figma to Elementor. I want to show you how you can do that seamlessly using UiChemy, and not just UiChemy, using a fantastic tool called SproutUI. The amazing part of this is that SproutUI is literally free. And also, if you are new to UiChemy is also literally free for you to use. But again, you can get more with your paid feature, and I'm going to demonstrate all of that for you in this tutorial. I want to try as much as possible to make it as short as possible, but I don't want to leave any stone unturned. So if you're excited about what we're about in this tutorial already, I think I should take you straight into my screen here for us to get started. So right on my screen here is SproutUI.com. As you can see on the screen here, we have over 1,300 Figma UI kits and components for us to use. So you can just go to SproutUI.com. I will leave a link to this in the video description. And if you come here, UiChemy has done quite a lot to make this tool quite very free for us to use. So if you come here, what you want to do is just for you to preview this inside of Figma. And here we can just literally open this inside of Figma. You can learn more about this and you can see comments that people have made as regards this. You can see this UI kit is awesome, and that person has said, just wondering if this kit has a mobile version. Apparently it does have. This looks awesome. A lot of people have said a lot of things in the Figma community about this, and is a fantastic tool I think you should check out. So right now, let's just open this inside of Figma. It's unbelievable. Sincerely, it's mind-blowing for you to believe that you can have this to use literally for free. But again, let's continue and let's see what we can do with this. So also here, if you come to the pages section here inside of Figma, you'll be able to see your welcome, and it says you can delete this if you want to. The welcome message here, you can zoom this in for you to read up in case you want to learn more about this. You can scroll up here and then read more about this and then learn more about this tool. It's quite very fantastic. The next thing we can check here is our global style. So if you come down here, we can just drag this a little down for us to be able to see what we have. So we have quite a number of things here. So from here, under our global style, we have our colors. So if we come here, we will be able to see the color palette that has been used here. So you can see here background colors, white, black. You can see all of those things, and then you can pick up those colors. You can make corrections here. And the next things here are the buttons. You can play around with everything we have here for you to see. So you can see what we have here in the buttons. So we can zoom this in for us to be able to see this. So this is the buttons, and these are the icons that are used on brand over, secondary, and I think this is quite very, very detailed. I like this. Also, you can also come to the typography here for you to see what has been used. And I like this because this is a global style. You can make changes to the global style so that it can affect all the instances that has been used here. And also for our logo, you can come here and also make changes to that. So you can see this is the logo here. And I think this is quite very, very beautiful. So now let's come down here to the next thing here, which is our library. So if you come down here, we can come to our nav bar here. So we can see all the navigation bars that we have. So we can zoom this into this instance here to see every of the styles that we have here for our navigation bar. And I think this is quite amazing. Also for our hero sections too as well. You can see here we have quite a number of hero sections here that we can use. And I think these are quite amazing. This is quite very, very beautiful. So I don't want to waste so much time trying to go through all of these things one after the other. So you can see here, we have quite a number of instances we can use in our project. And also we have page templates here from home pages, different types of home pages. We can easily just use as templates and then just use them instantly. So we can pick this one here. You can zoom that to see how that looks, right? So we can just jump on this home page and use and customize, and this is quite very beautiful. So we have several other page templates here, also the about us, the services page, and quite a number of them. Here's the about page here, so you can see all the about pages templates that we have here. Before I continue this tutorial, I just need to let you know that every section here built as a template inside of SproutUI here, and that makes it a lot easier for us to use. Let me show you how that works. So right now, what I want to do is for me to create a new page entirely. So let me just come to a page here. Let me create a new one, and I can just call this home page. So inside of this page right now, we can just create a frame. So here I'll just use the F function, and then I would create a frame right now. Good. So we have a frame here, so I can just name my frame. Let's just make this the home frame. After creating our frame, the next thing we want to do is to make this auto layout, and this is super easy for us to do. And then we have to set the width and the height of this frame, because entirely this is going to be our main frame. This frame is going to be converted automatically when we are converting this to Elementor into a container. So right now, once we come here, we can just come to our auto layout, and then we can see that this has been added to auto layout. We also need to set the width and the height of this frame. This is very important. For our width here, I want to make this fixed, and then I will just make this 1440. This is a perfect width size. Again, some people will prefer to use 1600 or 1980. 1440 is quite ideal so that you can easily make your frame responsive across all devices. We're going to leave height here to org. This is the best practice so that we can have this respond to every of the instances or the section we are going to be adding inside of our frame. Okay, so this is our main frame right now. So we have this super ready for us to use. So for our padding here, padding or margin, whatever it is, we have 10 here by default. So I'm going to make this a 0 because we don't want to leave any space at all around this container or this frame. So this again, I'll make this 0. Okay, so this is beautiful. So right now we have our main frame ready. So we can now begin to bring in our instances, our designs inside of this frame. For us to be able to do that right now, let's just come to our asset here. Apparently, let's just say the first asset we want to use is a navigation bar. So we have to search out for that. So we have a nav bar here. So if we click on this, we have this pop-up open here. So we want to insert this instance. So what we want to do is that we want to bring in this instance inside our main frame. This is very important. So we're going to click our frame, and then we're going to drag this inside this. Good. So if I come to the home page here, I'll be able to see my home frame here, and I can see that this nav bar is positioned inside of my frame, which is exactly what I want. So what I can do with this navigation bar is that we have several of them. So I can just come to the right here to my navigation bar here, and then I can select different types of navigation bar I want. So this is the second one here. I can play around with anyone till I find a perfect navigation bar that I want to use. Okay, I think this is good enough. All right, so now let's come back to our assets now, and then let's say I just want to add something entirely new. Let's say I want to add a hero section here. I can just find where I have that hero section, and we have a hero here, so I can just literally just open this up. I can click on this, and I can insert this instance also into this. So right now, as usual, we want to bring this instance into this frame here. So I'm going to click this home frame here. We can just easily just drag this into a frame. Ideally, we should have a blue line here that lets us know this is adding, but this is not. And sometimes you may just need to check. Okay, I think I have a challenge here. So let me click on this. Okay, so now once we click on this, you want to make sure that your auto layout is set to down here because we want this to align vertically, the layout. So now let's pick this again. Let's see if this would work. Yeah, so you can see now I have this blue line here right now at the bottom. So that is to let me know that this is already inside of that frame. So I'll just drop it, and then we have this here inside of this frame. So if I click this main frame right now, so you can see we have all of this inside of this frame. As usual, we can also customize our hero section. So if we come down here, we can play around with over 138 hero sections that we can choose for as a design, and I think this is mind-blowing. So let's try 77. Let's see. So you can see that that's beautiful. We can come to 82. You can see that again. You can play around with all of this till you find the perfect hero section that you want to use. 15, I just want to show you, and I think this is good, so I'll leave this as is. So right now, let's say we want to add more things into this frame here. Let's say the next thing we want to add here, let's scroll around. Let's see what we can still bring in here. Let's say we want to bring in services, something like this, right? So we're going to click on this, and we're going to click this as usual, and we're going to insert this instance. So I'm going to click this frame, and then I'm going to come to my instance here. I think I can just reduce this size so that I can have this here. So I'm going to click my frame. Super easy. Just drag this into the main frame till you see that blue line like you can see I have right now, and then I'm going to drop it there. And that's it. So we have this already inside of this, and I think I like this already, but I can play with this again. So you can see we have over 100 services here that we can choose as template again for us to use, and I think I like this. So right now, let's just come to testimonials. It's opened here. Let's click this, and let's insert these two as well into this. So we can just click this frame, and then let's bring this in here. So right now we can see we have that here too as well. Okay, so for our testimonials here, we can also change this also. So you can see we have over 81 testimonials here that we can play around with. So let's test the 40 number here. So I think I like this testimonial. So we can come down here, we can keep building our page. We want to add a call to action, for example. Let's just add these two as well. So you can see we have that here. So I'm going to click this frame, and then we are just going to, and then we can see we have this blue here, and then we're going to drop it, and that's it. So for our call to action, we can also change this. So we can see we have over 60 call to actions here. So I can play with as many of them till I find something I love. Maybe I'm just going to leave this as is. And then finally, maybe we can just create a footer for us for this page. And then I can just drag this here. And then let's click this, and then let's drop this into these two as well. Right now we have our footer here, and I think this is beautiful. I would not want to change this. So right now I have a perfect home page already designed here, and I think this is super easy and amazing using SproutUI. All of this ready. Let's come to our home page. Before we are done here, what we want to do here is for us to make sure that we select every of the section inside of our main frame. So I can just do Control A to copy all of them, as you can see here. So I want to make sure that if I come here, I want to make all of this fill the container, and this is super important for you to be able to have a perfect conversion to Elementor. And this is done here. So the next thing we want to do right now is for us to bring in the UiChemy plugin for us to convert our Figma into Elementor. So right now, if I click in here, I can come to plugins here, and I can come to UiChemy Figma to Elementor. So UiChemy work with Elementor, it works with Bricks, it works with Gutenberg. So I would be having a dedicated playlist on my channel to UiChemy. So I would be doing a series of tutorials, series of instances and use cases for every of these, for Elementor, for Gutenberg, and also for Bricks. So if you are interested in all of these things, I think you should subscribe to this channel if you have not, and then watch out for that playlist. So right now we have UiChemy launched here, so we can begin to look into converting this design into Elementor. So before you do that here, you may want to make changes to your design here, and I think this is super simple and easy to do. I don't want to assume that everybody watching this tutorial is able to do that, but using Figma is quite easy for you to do. So you can just come here and click into any of the elements you want to change here, so you can see that it is opening them frame by frame. And then I can still click into this, into the next frame here, still click on this again to get the perfect text here, and then I can just, that's Figma to Elementor using Sprout tutorial, if that makes sense. That's just random. So you can make changes to this, you can change your button, do a lot of things here, and that's quite fine. If you are not very familiar with Figma and you prefer to make your changes inside of Elementor, that's also possible. For us to be able to have a perfect conversion from Figma here to Elementor using UiChemy, we want to play the Elementor role. So what exactly is Elementor role? What I call the Elementor role is making sure that we have a perfect tag for every of our design inside of Figma. It sounds complex, but let me break this down. So right now we have something called widget inside of Elementor. So we want to make sure that every of the design we have here inside of our page here has a corresponding widget inside of Elementor. So if we can have that, we'll have a perfect clone. And UiChemy makes that super easy for us to do. So now let's come here to UiChemy and let's use the optimize and convert method. So let's click on this and we have a frame here. Definitely let's confirm this. And here inside of our optimization here, we want to launch our widget tags. We want to make sure we tag every of our design to a corresponding widget here. So now let me select my frame here and let me zoom in a little. This is too much. Okay, maybe this is good. All right, so let me switch this. Let me shift this a little so that I can see exactly what I have here inside of my frame. Let me see this. So right now, let me just come to my button here and let's come down here. So you can see that this has been tagged already as button. So the beauty about this is that SproutUI has been tagged as much as possible, but you want to go through every of your design here to see that everything here has been tagged. So if I come to the next button here, I can see this has been tagged also as a button. I also want to come here again to the button here. I want to click into this and then click into the specific button here. So you can see this has been tagged also as button. Also this here too as well, I want to make sure that this has been tagged to as button, and I think this is super amazing. So definitely everything here is an image. So I want to click into this specific frame here and also this specific image here, so you can see this is tagged as an image. So let's come down here. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. So we can also inspect everything here to see that everything here is tagged appropriately. So now let's come here, let's click into this. So you can see these are all frames. So this also is a frame apparently. And then I can click this also down. So now the question is there an Elementor widget for this? Elementor widget that can take a button, that can take a text, that can take a header and also an icon like this. And that's the constraint. So if you are not very good with Elementor, you would not know the perfect tag to put your design. But again, if you don't know it, you can leave this because you are using SproutUI. You are going to most likely get a good conversion, but the only thing is that you might just have some alignment issues that you need to correct. For some of the widgets here are also locked in the Pro, and that would mean that you need to have Elementor Pro for you to be able to have a perfect conversion. So for example, if you have designed something like a flip box here, you may want to tag that as a flip box inside of Elementor Pro widget and then have Elementor in your WordPress so that you have a perfect conversion. And I think that's super easy for you to understand. Maybe the perfect example is for us to use this testimonial widget here. So right now, if I click into this testimonial frame here, so you can see I have two testimonials here. Let me click into this specific one here. We all know that Elementor has a testimonial widget But the eliminate testimonial widget doesn't have provision here for a quote like this. So it means I will not be able to tag this entire frame a testimonial widget if I want to have a perfect conversion. So what I can do is to come down here to the frame here. I can drag this a little more for me to be able to see this. So we can see this is the frame here that is containing this. So I can see we have a quote, and then we have this and this. For me to be able to make changes to this, I will have to detach this testimonial from the instance. So I can just right click this and I can detach this instance. So I think that has been detached, and then I can then come back to this frame. I can click on this and these two as well, and then that is excluding this quote here, and then I can turn this into a frame. So I would right click this and then make this a frame, and then now we have this as a frame. I can rename this now and call this testimonial. All right, so this frame now is now testimonial. So you can see I've been able to detach this quote from the other text here and the image here. So right now I can tag this right now as testimonials. So right now if I come to Elementor element here and I can just tag this, and then you can see that this has already been previewed. So you can see here, this is now the image. The image is here. And I think this is super beautiful. We can do the same thing for this, but I want to just leave this as is. But I just want to leave this too. I'm very curious. Let me see the result we will get from something we have tagged here and the one that we have not tagged. Before we leave this here, we need to remember to save this. This is very important, because if we don't save this, then we have not tagged it. And then I can come back here, and then let's come back again here, and let's see that everything here has been tagged. Anything you know can be tagged. Text here definitely will be text, so we have to leave that. This has been tagged as text, and this should be tagged as a button, so you can see it has been tagged. And also this here too as a button. You want to be sure that everything here has been tagged. And this exactly has been what has been missing in many of my tutorials. So I'm going to be doing a lot of tutorials right now about UiChemy, showing you the optimization for you to get a perfect clone. And the beauty about tagging correctly your widgets to Elementor is that you have a number of options. I mentioned that earlier, but I think I should show you that again before I leave here, is that you have Pro widget. You also have the Plus widget here that give you more features. You can see we have block quote here. And the beauty about this is that you can open up the Plus widget for Elementor for you to see every of the elements that they have. So for example, right now, coming to our subscription to our newsletter here in our footer section, if we want to tag this right now, we can see here that we don't have anything here inside of the Elementor widget here that can accommodate for this. So you can see nothing here whatsoever. So if you come to the Pro widget here too as well, nothing here at all. Maybe a form can work, which is for you to type in a text field and a button field, and then you have that form. But let's say you want to work with your email builder, so you know that if you're using the Plus widget here, you have to install the Plus widget Elementor add-on, and I think that's super easy to, right? So right now let's click this. Let's come to this. This entire frame itself can be a MailChimp form. We also have Everest form here too as well, and I think this is super beautiful. But let's say it's a WP form right now. Let's tag this as WP form. So you see, it says that you have found a tagged node within the current selection. Something here has been tagged already, and most likely that has to be our button. So let's check to be sure. So you can see our button here has already been tagged. So we can untag our button. So for our button, let's detach this instance, and then let's clear this. Okay, so now this is good. So now let's come back to our frame, and then let's come back here to our WP form. So you can see that now we are tagging this as a form, and this is good. So now let's save this. So since we've tagged this as WP form, for us to be able to have this work inside of Elementor, we would need to install WP forms. That's very, very important. So right now we are done. We can start bringing this into WordPress. So right now I have a default WordPress website here, dapstutorial.com. So you can see I have a 2024 WordPress theme installed here. Let's go to the back end of this WordPress website. For us to be able to use UiChemy here, there are some things we have to do. So we have to install some plugins. Let's come to plugins here. Let's come to add new. The first plugin we want to install here is the UiChemy plugin. So type in UiChemy there, I can install this plugin, and then I can activate this plugin. We have this UiChemy pop-up here, and then we have to go through this onboarding process for us to be able to use this plugin. So right now, definitely we want to use Elementor, so we're going to hit the next button. And this is where we need to register an account with UiChemy. So you need to select your plan, register at the store and get a license key, and then let's go to the next button, install UiChemy, whatever, and then I have been able to do that. So let's go to the next, select your design and whatever. I'm going to walk you through all of this process eventually. For us to be able to use UiChemy, there are basic requirements. So the first is for us to install and activate Elementor Page Builder. Definitely we want to do that because we are exporting to Elementor. Also for Flexbox container, we want to also activate this. We also want to enable unfiltered usage or upload of SVGs. So this will be useful for us to convert the icons or the vectors in Figma to SVG inside of Elementor. So once this is done, we're going to hit the next button, and congratulations, we are done with the onboarding process of UiChemy. So welcome to UiChemy, you're on board, body finished successfully, and that's good. So I have my site URL here and my security token here. This is because I have used UiChemy on this site before. So in your case, you might need to want to go to UiChemy to create an account. But for you to know more about UiChemy, their website is uichemy.com, and if you come here, you can read a lot about them, you can read about the 6 easy steps for you to convert Figma to WordPress, and then other good stuff they have there. But for you to be able to buy directly from Figma, I will leave the link to that in the video description. So if you click on the link in the video description, it will bring you to this page here, and you would see here that this is recommended by dapps. This is to let you know that you're using my link. That's a dedicated partner page for me and also for this community, because on this URL is where you get access to every fantastic deal that is happening on UiChemy. And as a matter of fact, for some deals that you will not even be able to find on their live website. So that's the good thing about using my URL and seeing here that this is recommended by dapps. So if you scroll through this, you would come here where you can see that you can use UiChemy for free. And then you can also see their Pro plan, which is their most popular plan. And then it's priced at $19 per month, and all the all access, which I would always recommend people to go for because you would get value. That's the plan I'm using on UiChemy. That plan has given me access to every of their new addition to the UiChemy plugin. When I invested in this, it was only Elementor, and now they've added Gutenberg, they've added bricks, and I've had access to them. So I would always recommend you do this if you have so much to spare. And this is the yearly plan, and also you can switch to your monthly plan for you to see what it is priced at if you want to use it monthly. It's a fantastic plugin. I will show you exactly that real quick. And you can use it for free in case you want to experiment with that. But it has its own limitation. You have 10 exports alone per month. One user here. You can use it up to 5 users here. So in case you have a theme, In case you have a team that you work with and you design website for clients, or you clone website for client, like I told you, like I said, I will show you every use case for UiChemy that will make the difference for you. So this will come in a lot handy for you. You have access to 130 Figma template like I showed us earlier. A lot of things here. So you can come here, register an account here, and once you register an account here, you would be able to log in into our account to have a license key you can use inside of Figma and also on your WordPress website. So we can come back here. Now I have my site URL and a token here. I can also generate a new token, but again, let's see if there will be a need for that. So coming down here, like I said, it's time for us to start exporting our site. So right now I can just zoom this a little more, and then let's come back here, and then the home frame here has been selected here as what we want to convert. So the next thing we can just do here is hit the convert button. And as you can see, UiChemy is converting this. So this is literally done already. And just like that, with a click of a button, we have been able to convert this into Elementor within split seconds. How super amazing is this? So right now, for us to be able to bring this into our existing website, if we scroll down here, which is the next step, we have two methods. We can download this template as a JSON, go to your website, and then create a page, and then import that JSON file. Another option here is the live import, which is the easiest if you ask me. So right now, you can see that I have my site here, but you can see it says token mismatch. That's because I have deleted that entire WordPress website and I've installed a new one. But we can solve this problem by just clicking on this, and then you can see I can edit this, or I can delete it or add a new site entirely. But in my case here, I can edit this, and my token here is different, so I can come to my website here. So you can see this is the token I have, so I can copy that token here or generate a new token entirely, and then come back here and paste that token here. And then I can connect again. So that's it. We have connected our website here. So now let's come to our import settings. So we have to select a method. The first method is to select a new or to existing. The first thing here is the new. Let's select that, and let's export to either a new page or as a new Elementor template. But now, to make things easier, let's select a page. Before we go next, let's come back to our WordPress website, and let me come to all the pages we have on this website. So we can see that these are the pages we have here. But before we go back to UiChemy for us to try to send our design to our WordPress website, and there's still something we need to do inside of WordPress for us to ensure that we have a perfect clone. And this is very, very important. I think you need to watch this. So now let's go and see what our website look like on the front end. Like I told you earlier, is a default 2024 theme. We need to change this theme to another theme that gives us control over the outlay of our pages. So right now, let's come back here. Let's come to appearance. Let's come to themes. As usual, you know I'm the Astra guy. I love to use Astra, but for the purpose of this example, I would love to use a Nexta theme. And this is the Nexta theme here. And let's activate this theme. So now let's come to customization. The truth is that you mustn't use this theme. You can use other themes, but this theme just makes it a lot easier, in my opinion, after testing. So I would always recommend that you do this. So right now, the first thing we want to do under our customization is to come to general, and we want to come to our container. So under our container here, we want to make this full width. For our padding here, we don't want to use the default padding that is set by the theme. So we want to set this to a 0 and also at the right to a 0. And also for our footer as well, the container, we want to make this full width, and also for our padding 0 and a 0 as well. And the same thing we are going to do for our content body too as well. We want to set this to full width, and we want to make this 0, 0, right? And that's Oh, this is -1, so let's make this 0. So that's it for this. Everything here should cover for this, but again, you may want to also still set this to the page container to full width and also 0 to 0 as well. You can also do this for your archive post, your single post, just in case you are designing your blog, your posts, your post page, single page inside of Figma, you are bringing them into WordPress. That's very, very important. So we can come back here. Another thing I want to do here is for me to come to my header like this. Because I already have header from Figma, I want to turn this off completely. So you can see that is off. So let's come back here and let's come to our footer too as well. We want to take out this footer since we have footer inside of Figma. And that's it. We can publish this. And that's everything we want to do to customize this. So you can achieve the same thing if you use other themes. You just need to go out there and make sure you set the full width. So you make sure you set the page container to full width and then have control over taking out your header and footer if you want to bring that from Figma. So right now, since this is done, let's come back here and then we have our own frame here. Let's come to next and then let's just click this icon here for us to live import, and just like that, this is done. How super amazing is this? For us to be able to see what this page look like inside of our WordPress, we can just click this icon here. It would open up that page on our website, so you can see this. This is super amazing. We have some alignment issues here and there. So you can see also for our testimonial here, this is looking pretty sharp, pretty good. So you can see here, we do not have a subscription, a newsletter here. Like I told you, we need to install a plugin for that. So we didn't remember to do that. So let's come to the back end here and you can see we now have this page here. It is set to draft, but we can just quick edit this and then let's change this from draft to publish and let's publish this. And then we can just, we've seen it already, so let's edit the Elementor in a new page. Now Elementor is loaded and basically everything we want to do is just slight changes to these here and there. So right now we can just come here and try to play with the width for this, so you can see. All right, so that is okay now, and for sign up to is okay. So you can see this has been sorted right now. So if you click on this right now, this is the logo. You can change this to your own logo. For tutorial purpose, I'm going to leave this as is, but I would advise that you just take this out completely and then replace this with a navigation menu that you have created inside of WordPress. So that's something super easy to do. And also for these two as well, so we can play with this and just play with the width a little. As you can see, that's fantastic right now. And also if you scroll down, the same thing for everything here. So for these two as well, I can just play with the width. So you can see that's beautiful. So right now you can see the difference between what we tagged here. So you can see how this is displayed right now and this here. So this is just like a text here, and this is just like another text here, heading, another text here. But if I click on this, this is bringing me to a testimonial for me to customize this. So you can see the difference between the things that you are able to tag and the things that you do not tag. Both would work. For this right now, if I adjust the width, I should be able to get something really good. And then I will have to keep customizing this across every device. But these right now, if we check the responsiveness, you will see that I would have little or nothing to do here for me to make this responsive. So right now here, I can as well still drag this container till I'm able to replicate the same thing here. So, and I believe this is super easy to do. So this is good too as well. So we can drag this, for example, right now for these two as well. I can drag this to make sure I have this on a straight line. I'm not sure I remember how this was from our design, but whatever it is, we can just drag this. And then we have this here. So this is super amazing. Unfortunately, we do not have our form here because we did not install that plugin. And that's super sad earlier. So we're not able to bring that here. You can re-import that design into this page from Figma. using this same tool. I'll show you how that works eventually. So that's it for this, and I believe this is super cool. Like I said, you need to check out how responsive this is for you to be able to adjust this. So you can see right now that this is responsive now. This is not even super responsive yet. I might still need to drag this a little for me to make this responsive or with a tab. So play along with all of these and just drag them to fit. Change the text if you must for it to fit every of the device. But you might have a little bit of alignment here and there across all devices. So yeah, and that's super normal and super basic. Even if you design inside of Elementor, you have some alignment issues here and there. So you can just play around with them and just resize them based on your device. The same thing again if we were to optimize this for our mobile view. So you can see here, just experiment with them, resize them as much as possible as you can. And I believe this is super easy to do. But this is not everything. There's still more we can do with this tool. If you are very familiar with Elementor, you know it's not advisable for you to bring in header and footer into every of your pages. And that is where Elementor Pro comes into play. If you have Elementor Pro, you know Elementor Pro gives you this feature for you to have your header and your footer, and then you can then play with all pages. This is good for optimization of your website. If you bring in header and footer into every of your page, they will keep loading every time, and that's not good for speed and for the SEO of your website. So right now, for us to see how that works, let's come back to Figma here. So let's say we want to change some design like I told you. For example, we're not able to replicate this footer here. Let's say we want to change this. So let's drag this away from here, and then let's come to our footer section here. If you click on this right now, you can see that we don't have the option here for us to be able to change the design here. And that's super simple. That's because we detach this frame here from the entire instance. So what we're going to do is for us to delete this completely. And now let's say we want to add another footer into this instance. So right now, let's come to asset, and then let's come to footer here. So let's insert another instance, and this is the footer instance. So let's click on this, and then let's drag this into our instance. As usual, till we find this blue tick here, and then we're going to drop that. So that's it. So now we can then change this. So right now we can choose in between footer. So let's say we want to change this from footer to another footer. So let's say we want to use this footer here. This is now a new footer, as we can see here. So coming back here, we can just select our frame that we want to export. So the home frame has been selected here. So now let's expressly convert this. And then we can come to live import. And then we can select this. So here is where we would make a slight change. So before we used new, and now we're using the existing, and then we would come here to page, definitely. So right now, let's use the replace option. We're also going to come back and see how to use the add-on option too as well. And then let's select the home frame, which is the page we want to replace. And then let's hit the next button, and then let's import this. So that's it. This is done. And now let's open this page right now. We can just scroll down, and then we see that we have a new footer here. Unfortunately, the update we make to the other pages in terms of alignment here has been wiped away. And that's the reason why we have the add-on as opposed to the replace. So now let's come back here, and I'll show you how this works. But before we use this, I want us to just create a new frame entirely. Let's close UiChemy page entirely. You can just come here and click the frame icon here, and let's create a new frame. For this frame, let's just call this about frame. Right? And then we'll do the same thing we did for the this frame earlier. So the first thing we want to do for this frame is to make it auto layout. So we're going to click on this, and then we're going to change our frame here from this to fixed as usual. And then let's just make this 1440 as usual, right? And then we're going to leave this as is, as that's good. So for our auto layout, let's change this to 0 as usual, this to 02 as well, and this to 02 as well. So that's it. We have this here. So I just want to duplicate this frame. So yes, I have 3 frames here. For this frame here, I want to call this header. And for this one here, I'll call this footer. All right. So, and for our auto layout, I want to make sure that this is turned down. I think we did that earlier, these two down. So let's come to these two as well. Also for these two, we want this down. So what we're about to do right now is how to bring in a proper full website into Elementor, and this will require Elementor Pro. So to save time, I will just pause this video. I would install Elementor Pro on my WordPress website, and then I will fill these frames here with demo content using SproutUI. So right now we are left with a home page here, an about frame here, and a header and a footer. And this is exactly what we want to do. So right now let's launch the UiChemy plugin. And from here, you can see that we don't have any frame selected. But if you come down here, you can see that you can select pages. So what we want to do here is for us to select everything here. And then let's confirm this. As usual, I don't want to waste time here. You can go through the process of tagging all the widgets. That's very important. So let's just convert this. We can use the live import button. So we have these 4 frames here to import, and then we have to go through them one after the other. I have deleted the home frame. I always get to forget that I can always update that page, but that's fine. Let's just add this to a new page. And then we can apply this to below fields. That's also a possibility, but we don't want to. We can just do that manually ourselves because we have a header or footer that we want to bring in. So right now, let's do this to new to as well. And then let's make this a new page. And then for our footer and header, before we do this, so for our footer and header, we want to create this to new, and we want to select this to Elementor template. And for our template here, we can make this header Elementor Pro not installed, and this is because we just installed Elementor Pro and we didn't do that earlier. So you can see that after refreshing that right now, I'm able to use Elementor template here. So right now, let's do the same thing for our header too as well. Let's select this to new, and then let's select this to Elementor template, and then let's select footer template. So you can see you can work with a lot of templates here, your 404, your search page, your archive page, and this is quite fantastic. So that's the beauty of using Elementor Pro. And then let's go to footer. That's okay for now. So let's come back here. Let's retag this one new. Let's make this a new page. Let's do that for the about us too as well. Let's come to new too as well. Let's select this to a page. We've been able to add the home frame and the about frame to new pages, and then our header and footer to Elementor header and footer. And then let's hit the next button. And now let's import all of them into our website. This has been imported, and this is quite fantastic. So right now, let's just go check this out on our website. Let's come back here and let's come to pages. Let's come to all pages. So you can see now I now have the about frame here and the home frame here. But let's just quick edit this and let's publish this. And let's update this. And then for the about, let's quick edit this too as well, and let's publish this too as well, and let's update this. And we have this already published here. This home frame should be our home page. So let's come to settings here, and let's come to writing. Not here. Let's come to reading. So we can see here that our home page is displaying our latest post. Let's select a static page, and then let's select our home frame as our home page, and then let's save these changes. So right now, if we go to our site and visit our site, you can see that we now have our home page here. Unfortunately, we don't have our header and our footer just yet. So now let's come back here. Let's see what we can do with that. Let's come to our template here under Elementor. It's Elementor template here. And let's come to our theme builder. So you can see that we have header and footer here in draft. As usual, we would want to edit them. So let's come to our header here. This is our header here. Let's edit this. So what we want to do basically here is for us to publish this, and we want to add the condition for this. We want to publish this on our entire website, but we can choose to publish this on an archive page or singular page, whatever it is that works for you. You can add additional condition in case, you can include, you can exclude, whatever you want to do here. Let's save and close this. So that's it for our header. We can switch from here to our footer too as well. Also, we have our footer here. Let's publish this, and let's also add the condition. Our entire page 2 is fine. Let's save and close this. So now if we come back to our front end here, let's refresh this. Oh Lord, so we have an error here. So unfortunately, we made a mistake here. We can see our footer here is set to our header. And let's scroll down and we can see our header here as our footer. That's gross error from us. So as usual here, if you come down here, even though this is saying footer, so if you come to our settings, so you can see this is supposed to be our header, but unfortunately we have our header as our footer. The error was made directly from our Figma, but we can correct that here. Let's come back. So let's come back again, and then let's select our frame here. In this case here, we just want to select the footer and the header here. Let's confirm that. Let's convert again. Instead of us going down the live import this time around, let me use this opportunity to show you what it is for you to download the JSON file. So now let's come back here, and then we now have footer and our header here. So now let's download this JSON file. We have a zip here, so we are going to extract this. So right now let's go back to WordPress. And from here, I've been able to delete the templates that I brought in automatically before, the header and the footer template. So if you come here, you can see that is gone. And if you come to the theme builder, so inside of the theme builder here, you can see that I don't have anything here. So I can come to my header here and then try to bring in my JSON file. So right now I can just upload my JSON file. So now I have my header here right now. I can then insert this manually. So this is exactly how to do it manually. So now you can see I have my header here at the top. I can publish this, add the condition to the entire site, save and close. So that's it for that. I can come back here to my theme builder, and also here I can come to my footer, and there's no footer here. Let's add a new one. From here, as usual, let's upload our JSON file. So from here, let's select, and then let's insert this into my page. And then I have a footer here, so I can then go ahead and publish this, add the condition. The entire website is fine, and then I can save and close this. So that's it for that. Let's come back to our home page, and then let's refresh. So coming back here, you can see now we have our footer here below, and then when we go up here, we have our header here. And I think this is super simple and easy to do. I have a lot of tabs here opened. I think, okay, I'm done here. Footer here, let's close this. Let's close this too as well. Let's close this too as well. Let's leave this. All right, so now let's come to our dashboard here, and then we can come to our page. Let's see all our pages. Since we have about us here, let's view this. Let's see if the header too and footer will display. So you can see the header is displaying also on the about page. And I think this is beautiful. And finally, I want to show you how to add to an existing page. So for example, like I showed you now, this is the about page. Let's say I want to add a new section to this page. So let's say we want to add this right now. So let's bring in our plugin, UiChemy. And then let's select this frame that we want to bring in here, the update frame here. So we would not be optimizing this or tagging anything. Let's just expressly convert this. And then let's do this. Let's choose the live import. And here we can choose this, and then we come to existing, and then we select this to a page. And then what we want to do now is to use the add-on feature. And then here we can select the page, which is to the about, is where we want to add this. And then let's go to the next, and then let's import this to that page. So that's it. We now have this. All right. So for our about page right now, we can scroll down, and then we see our futures is here. How super amazing is this before we see our header? So I want to believe this is super simple and easy enough. I hope I did a good job trying to help you see how you can use SproutUI and use UiChemy to bring your Figma designs into Elementor. Super simple and super easy. Whether or not you're using Elementor free version or Elementor Pro, you see exactly how these work. So you can go experiment with these. I will leave the link to this in the video description. Make sure you use my UiChemy link so that you can explore any possible promo that is ongoing via UiChemy, whether it is a public one or is an exclusive promo. And also you see the link to Elementor Pro in the video description. Ensure to check that out. Invest in Elementor Pro. You will never be wrong using Elementor Pro. And that's my time for this tutorial. If you find this useful, give me a thumbs up. If you have any issues, let me know in the comment section. Let me know if this tutorial was super useful for you. If you have any issue whatsoever using UiChemy, let me know in the comment section. I will be happy to do further tutorials for you. And that's my time for this tutorial. I would see you in another one. And until then, stay safe.